Hi and welcome to today's tutorial. In today's tutorial, we'll be looking at how you can connect to Snowflake using Snowspark. Before I get started, let's just look at the landscape of Snowflake from a connectivity standpoint. We have a plethora of connectors out there. Depending on the use case, if you're coming from an enterprise standpoint, you're probably looking at a Kafka or Spark. From a third-party standpoint, if you're using Tableau, Power BI, Alteryx, you can obviously connect to Snowflake using them as well. Generally, from a data scientist or data analyst standpoint, you probably use a whole lot of Snowsight, which is an UI, which we can also see in this the look and feel of Snowsight. And someone who's more hands-on, they'll probably be using a command line interface called SnowSQL. In this tutorial, as I mentioned, we'll only be looking at the most basic of them all, Snowpark Python client only. So before we go ahead and look at the lab standpoint, this just very high level. Um, what is a Snowpark, right? It is a developer framework for Snowflake where you can pretty much, use your Python to install libraries and also do an ML work as well. So I believe as of now it's a little limited, but you can pretty much do machine learning in Snowpark. Um, Snowpark, on a very high level, you can say has three major components. One of them is functions, Snowpark API, and store procedures. So for those of you who are coming from a PLSQL background, you will really appreciate the fact that there are a lot of store procedures and functions that you can start playing around. From a function standpoint, you can use your user-defined functions or UDFs with respect to Python. So that is something which you can use. And Snowpark API, helps you build powerful data pipelines. So that's a little bit of introduction of Snowpark. We will get into more details in depth in next tutorials. But for now, let's look at how you can connect to Snowflake via Snowpark. A couple of prerequisites. Please make sure that you install your library Snowflake, Snowpark Python, and you also need to have a Snowpark API. Obviously, it requires a Python 3.8 version as well. So as long as these things are satisfied, we are good to go. So today we will be looking at this particular code. All right. So yeah, again, the code is pretty basic. All you're trying to do is see how we can connect to Snowflake. So again, this is with respect to a trial version that Snowflake's helps gives an account. So it's pretty easy to set up. Once you have done that, and once you receive your once you're able to set up the user and also the password, with the basic connectivity, we'll be able to connect and also run a couple of quick queries. What we're trying to do here is we're importing snowflake.snowpark and importing a session. I'm also using a get pass here. The reason is that obviously we do not want to be sharing usernames, your passwords, your account information right in the open. Is always a good standard protocol to follow. If you're working for different companies, you have their own password vault set up where you can go to a centralized place and retrieve passwords. So obviously it's not a good idea to be showcasing your usernames and passwords in the plain text. So yeah, so let's go ahead and kickstart one session and connect to UI of Snowflake. And let me do that first, and also then I can also showcase the Snowflake UI, in other words, Snowsight. All right, I have my Anaconda open. I'm just going to keep this aside. Oops. All right, I'm going to kickstart a Python version here. All right, I have a 3.9.13. I'm going to quickly start typing them here. Snowflake. That's, all right. Import get pass. I'm going to store this into the respective variables. I have them handy here, so I'm going to just copy and paste. That's good. And then let's also get user as well. All right, that's good. And let's also go ahead and get ourselves the password that I'm going to type. All right, now we have pretty much laid out the account information, user, and also the password. Let's go ahead and get the connection strings, and then we will be able to start making connection. All right. Count. All this information will be provided by Snowflake when you set up an account with them. All right, so that's good. Let's go ahead and get a session open for this. Oops. All right, the moment of truth. Hopefully everything works. Awesome. There you go. So we do have the session created. So we can just go ahead and play around and see, get what is our current warehouse, current database, and current schema. We have not defined them, but that's something that we can obviously do. But before I go ahead and do that, I just want to quickly showcase some the Snow site or Snowflake UI. Hope this is visible. So I have played around with a couple of worksheets. So let's go ahead and let me let me get some worksheets here. Let me open this up. All right. This is one of the whole things I was working on from a Python standpoint. Yes, let's go ahead and get ourselves a SQL worksheet. There you go. All right. So the moment you do that, a couple of things. It tells that we have not selected a database, so let's go ahead and select a database here, which in this case is I'm going to select a Snowflake sample data. And there are obviously respective schemas that are associated here. But most interestingly, it does not tell me what is the warehouse that are selected here. So let me go ahead and do that using Python. Obviously, you can select from here as well, but there are other ways where we can um, get that going. I'm going to go quickly get that information here. All right, I'm going to copy what I have. So what I'm trying to do right now is I'm going to create a warehouse. I'm going to call it as my first warehouse. I can obviously do it here and in the Snow site, or I can go into my Anaconda prompt and do from here. Let me paste it here. What I'm doing is create or replace a warehouse. I'm calling it as my first WH. For now, just gonna say it's X small. All right, when I'm gonna go ahead and please enter, it tells me if my first warehouse got created. Let me go here and see whether it was created or not. Oh, there you go. My first WH was successfully created. Obviously, you can play with that. I'm just going to quickly showcase how you can also write a simple SQL to you want to just go ahead and drop it as well. There you go. If you can, that disappears. Again, this is just a simple example of how you can create and also drop your own warehouses. This gets you can the more you work on the higher level how it functions and UDFs and this can be helpful. So in other tutorials we're going to see how you can use various UDFs. We can also try to look at OAuth authorization as well, how you can, for example, connect from a Spark instance into into Snowflake, and how you can copy huge data sets, and you're talking about north of billion or more, how you can copy them as well. Even and some of the things we can also look at how you can use pandas to copy data set, how you can copy key files. So we will be working on all these tutorials going forward. I don't have anything else to for this tutorial. We'll catch up in the next one. Thank you.